everybody, this is Helena Hart. We are trying this again, take two, for my live video with Adrian Everhart on how to open up emotionally to a man so you can connect deeply to his heart. Sorry for the technical difficulties the first time around. Sometimes it's tricky with these Facebook Lives with two people. Oh, Adrian, I see you. I'm going to invite you now. See if that works. This is my first time that it works. Hi, hey everyone, I see you joining. Feel free to type in your questions. We're going to do Q&A at the end of this. So, can you hear me?
I can. Hello there. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you? I'm so excited. And I feel like my tripod is a little lopsided, but yeah, the first time doing this on my page, so I'm hoping that this is all working. I see everyone joining. Hi everyone, feel free to say hello and type your questions in. And tonight is such an important topic. We're going to be talking again about how to be vulnerable and open up emotionally to a man so that he can really feel safe to open up to you and you can connect with his heart. And Adrian, I know you probably have so much to say on this, so welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Helena. These are so fun. I love doing them with you. Time always flies by. And I'm so excited about a 3-day intensive that we're going to be doing together. And I was talking to a client of mine earlier today, and she said, you know, you make things, I've read all this stuff. I've done these programs, you know, I have all the material like so many of us have. You know, that's kind of where we get our start with all of this amazing, amazing material from our coach and mentor, Roy Ray. And then it's like you hit this place where you just need a little bit more. And sometimes someone else comes along and we can put it into a format that's just easier to absorb. Like you get it, you know, it clicks a little differently. And so this program we've designed, this 3-day intensive, does exactly that. It is a fast track through some of the most important material we have out there to take you from heartbroken to happily ever after, and it condenses it. And I'm so excited to be part of it with you. I mean, I'm just, you know, when we're together, it's so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to class.
I was just thinking that as I was like rushing to set everything up. I've had no breaks today. Like I'm just back to back to back, but what I was most excited about today. I could not wait. This is just so fun and just, I love it. So we have one question that was sent in beforehand. We would love to answer all of your questions for people joining live. I see you all joining. So feel free to type them in and I'll go ahead and just like introduce this topic tonight. So, you know, when it comes to opening up emotionally with a man, this is just kind of off the top of my head. This is like one of the #1 things that needs to happen in order to connect with his heart and bring him close. You know, a man needs to feel that deep heart-to-heart connection with a woman in order for him to really fall in love and want to just be with you forever. A lot of women have these misconceptions, like, you know, you have to have this like mind-body connection, you know, so they'll try to connect with a guy through sex or through some sort of physical way and through their mind, like this mental connection. And while those things are obviously amazing, you know, it's that deep heart-to-heart connection that is what really makes a man fall in love and want to be with you forever. So that is the only way, through his heart is the only way to really get this happening. Adrian, would you?
So true. So true. And so often my clients come to me and say, okay, so should I text him? Should I text him back? Should I do this? Should I call him? Should I ask him to this party I want him to go to? Should I call his mom and tell his mom that I like, you know, and they're asking us these, you know, yes, no questions. And yeah, I mean, we can tell you the shortest route to manipulate this guy, and it's going to be a very fast acting pill, and it's going to solve the problem at hand very, very quickly, but it's not going to bring you any long-term results of really connecting to this man. So we teach you how to connect to his heart in a deep and meaningful and profound way that really, no matter what the two of you may go through as a couple, there will be such a strong bond between the two of you that it can't be broken. Because once that man really connects deeply to your heart, there's just no going back for men. They've chosen you.
Yes, that's so, so true. And, I hear from a lot of women, and I can relate because I was this way myself. Sometimes it can be hard to open up. Like, we don't want to be too vulnerable. Maybe we feel we've opened up in the past and have gotten hurt or heartbroken by men. And so it can be a really difficult thing to want to even be open to doing this. Adrienne, do you hear that a lot? And what would you say to a woman who is scared?
Oh my gosh, so often, because when they get to hold your heart, and they're really getting to hold your heart, you want to say, get away from my heart, get away from my heart, you might hurt me, and we want to push them away. And it takes some vulnerability, it takes some trust, it takes knowing your boundaries. Being able to let a man hold your heart is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my life. I have walked across fire rocks, and it wasn't as difficult as letting a man hold my heart. And that is the honest to God truth. I have never felt as vulnerable and open as the day I really figured all of this out. It all clicked, and I opened my heart to a man. But once you learn it, like once you get it, there's no going back. You can't unlearn this material, can you, Helena?
No, that is so true. So true. And it really is like you will see the man in front of you just like fall in love before your eyes. It's amazing. It's amazing. I had a guy tell me once, like, you're so feely. Like you're so full of feelings, and I'm just weak. Like, I'm addicted. I can't get enough. And we tend to think that men don't like our feelings, they don't like emotion, but it's really not true. And I know Adrienne and I talk a lot about the difference between emotions and drama. Adrienne, do you want to make a distinction there? Really important concept.
Oh, the best part of that is that, when you realize the difference between an emotion and drama, and you realize it, and you're like, oh, like that's what it is, that's the difference. You can't do drama without straight up knowing you're doing drama and knowing the repercussions you're going to have from it. So once you get it, once we open your eyes and you're aware of it, you can't do drama anymore. It's impossible.
Right, you'll be able to feel it right away, and it will be very obvious. You can just catch yourself and do something else. So Adrienne, I'm curious to hear, what would you say like the first step is when it comes to opening up emotionally to a man so you can connect with his heart?
Well, I would say get ready to feel some stuff you've never felt before. Get ready to feel some stuff that you have not been turned on to and felt in a really long time. And this is where all these triggers come up and all this stuff comes up from our past. And you're starting to cry about stuff that happened when you were like 14 years old. Not to minimize that at all, but it really starts bringing up past traumas, past hurts, because that's when the abandonment first happened. That's when the first man, or possibly even woman, turned their back to you. So my thing is get ready. Your life's about to get changed. You're about to uncover all this stuff that I spent years in therapy trying to figure out. It all happened when I learned how to open up my heart to a man. And relationships, a woman's relationship with a man, or even with partners who are gay, you have one that's masculine, one that's feminine. When you find that person and you can open yourself up to that vulnerability, that's when a lot of the demons come out, and that's also when a lot of the healing starts to take place. So first of all, get ready for the healing to happen. Get ready to feel vulnerable. Get ready to open up. And then the next thing is, this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Experiment with the man you're with, because that man that's in front of you right now, he may be a man that you're really, really into. It might be a man you're just dating. I learned one of my greatest lessons from a man that I knew when I was dating him that it would not go I didn't want it to go very far. We weren't a very good match. But he healed me during that time we were together. He really did. He brought about great healing in me. And if he wouldn't have been in front of me, if I wouldn't have gone out with him and opened my heart to him, I wouldn't have that opportunity to heal so much stuff in me, so much old junk. Helena, would you agree? Guys, bring it out in us.
Yeah. If anyone, yeah, type in your comments and questions, everyone. If this resonates with you, or if you have anything that you're like struggling with in this area, we'd love to hear about it. But yeah, I've heard clients say like this work has been like better or faster than years of therapy, because the really cool thing about it is we don't go back and like dig up the past. It's all about like from where you are right now and moving forward. Like,
this is not like some deep therapy session and bring up all the demons from the past. You don't even have to do that. Yeah.
It's about healing, because feelings are coming up in you in this moment, So yes, they may have been originally, the results of something that happened in your past and you're getting triggered, but the feelings are happening right now. So we get to work with them right now in the moment and heal them. It's really, really awesome. We're going to be doing a ton of this in our 3-day intensive. So if anyone's interested, I posted a link to that in the title of this video. We have some amazing women that are joining. There's a few spots left, I think, though, Adrienne, right? And
we have 6 seats left. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves with the online, we do an online Q&A session. So we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. So it's down to 6 seats. The price right now, we have an intro price. This is a alpha thing that Helena and I are doing. It's $89. We're making it really affordable. But starting tomorrow, the price goes up. It's no longer an introductory price. So it goes up. So you got to act now.
we're so excited. So excited. So, something I wanted to sort of bring up now, this is like all off the top of my head, but I know that, Adrienne, I'm sure you have so many brilliant things to say about this. The fact that, when it comes to opening up emotionally to a man, as women, it's my opinion that like we are deeper than men are in a lot of ways. Like we are more conscious than men typically. I mean, we like deep, but that's kind of a rare thing. I think we're sort of like connected to ourselves and to others in a way that men can only get connected to through us. Like I've like cried in front of men and had them say like, wow, like loved it, and said, I can't, you can get to a place in yourself that I can't get to in me. So men, like, they need us in a lot of ways. They
totally
need us to be connected to ourselves. That's how they have access to this like amazing energy and power and love that we have. So it's just, this is so much deeper than just how to get a man to do what you want. It's a deeper thing.
Yeah, how to get a man to call you back and text you back. Yeah, and oh my God, Helena, you said that so well, because it's so true. I think about all the times in my past that, a man would trigger me, and I would go on the internet and I would like, how can I get a guy who hasn't, talked to me in so many days to call me back, and I would try to figure it out that way, using my brain, my cabeza, and that is not the way to do it. You have to feel your way through this stuff.
Yes, absolutely. You can't logically talk your way into a guy's heart. It's a feeling, and you don't even really have to say anything a lot of times. Like I've been, I remember watching a movie with a guy once, and I wasn't even trying to do anything, but I was just feeling all kinds of things for the characters, and I forgot what movie it was, but it was something where it was very emotional, and it just the energy of you feeling your feelings or searching for your feelings in front of a guy is like the sexiest thing in the world.
They love it,
man, right?
They love it. What's it on the Hallmark Channel?
Right.
I'm gonna ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. I use kind of like not the best example of this. This makes it a little bit creepy, I guess. But imagine the girls, they're having the pajama party, They're having the pajama party and they're braiding each other's hair and they're trying on lip gloss and they're having pillow fights. And the scenario is the boys are through the window peeking through. They're peeking through. This is really what men want to see. They want to see a glimpse of what it's like to be a girl.
That's a and yeah,
you like that?
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. I've never heard it put that way before. Absolutely spot on. It's true. Yeah. We're really powerful, our feminine energy and just us being ourselves is a super powerful, like intriguing, mysterious thing to men, because men are pretty shut off. I think I mentioned at the beginning video, they've been kind of programmed from an early age to not feel, to like stuff their feelings
Yeah.
down, or rise
Yeah.
above them, conquer them, or like
Yeah.
be more reasonable than that, right? So,
And let me ask you something, Helena. Are you glad for that?
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, are you glad that men are kind of, told like, son, don't cry. You need to be a man, I mean, some people say like that should just stop. Like boys should be able to cry and things like this. But there's a part of me that like, I kind of like that old school tradition. And maybe it's genetic. Maybe it's something genetic that, in our, thinking that fathers are passing down to their sons. I'm not sure. I don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do that I'm glad it's not my husband that falls apart when, the microwave didn't cook something all the way through. It's
I was
me.
gonna say, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I like that I'm sensitive. I like that I'm emotional. I know men really love that. I've experienced that. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to be with a guy who's exactly like me, because it is kind of
Yeah.
having someone strong. And also the masculine energy partner like wants to cherish your feelings and protect you. If he's like a good high quality guy, he wants to like hear about your feelings and take them into account when he's doing things like planning and making decisions and things like that. So when it comes to expressing yourself, expressing your feelings, and opening up emotionally to a guy, Adrienne, I love what you said. The first step is you have to know what you're feeling, right? Like so many of us have no idea what we're feeling at any given moment, because we're just kind of like going from like one obligation to another, and we're like on autopilot, or we're just rushing through the motions, right? I can relate to that for sure. I know, have any relate to that too? Type that in. I'd love to hear your opinion on that. So once we actually get in touch with how we're feeling, we have to express it. Now, first of all, Adrienne, I'm curious, do you have any tools for women who are having a difficult time actually getting in touch with what they're really feeling?
Oh, yeah. One of the things we're going to do in class is I take you through a breathing exercise that I actually learned in a method acting class. And method, there's sort of this traditional acting, I don't know, and then there's method acting where you have to really get into your body to find the words, to find the feeling. All the great, great actors are method actors. So this is just a breathing technique. It's a way to empty your body and figure out like what you're feeling in there. Because Helena, I just remember early on in our coaching, you told me one time, you said that you had a hard time even expressing the temperature of a room.
Like, it feels cold in here. That was hard for me to even get those words out. It feels cold, or I feel warm. Yeah, exactly. And
and that has just stuck with me through all these years, because I couldn't express myself about things, and so they would just get stuffed down, and then all of a sudden here would become the drama queen, and I would explode with emotion, instead of just all day long. So I think food is always a really fun place to start, because we have to eat a couple of times a day. So start with food, and think about like your favorite vegetable or your favorite fruit, and how does it feel when you eat it? How does it feel? How does it feel when you bite a crisp, juicy apple? How does it feel? And you'll notice that your brain will sometimes think of memories. Sometimes it'll start coming up with words, and you'll start to sound like an advertisement for apples. It's crisp, it's delicious, it's refreshing. You'll start coming up with these words, but then go deeper to a part of your body that can feel that biting into the apple. Feel the juice running down the side of your face. Feel the sweetness and what that makes you feel in your body. So I tell everybody, kind of practice with food. Notice how things feel in your mouth, how a cooked mushroom feels versus, biting into a crispy piece of toast or something, and get into touch with, feelings that are happening in your body. Because most of us are on autopilot, and we're up here and we are just driving the car as fast as we can in every direction we need to go. And once we teach you how to get into your body, once we show you these tools, life really opens up. That's the extra added bonus with this, is that life kind of opens up in a new way. And colors are brighter and food tastes better and everything looks and feels a little different because you're suddenly have an awareness that you previously weren't used to, that
I
you're
love
stuffing down.
Yeah, you kind of read my mind. That what I was gonna say is like sometimes like body sensations are like a gateway into your deeper feelings. So if you're having problems like getting into
Yeah.
right, maybe feel if there's like some tension in your body. Like for me, it's like always like my right shoulder is just like I hold
Shoulder.
that one spot.
Yeah.
So for if you can really feel that tension, try and like breathe into it and drop your shoulders or wherever you're feeling that tension. What happens is feelings will come up. You might all of a sudden feel this deep sense of like grief or sadness or my cat is going crazy again. You might feel or joy or exhilaration. You'll start feeling things, you'll start feeling
Yeah.
up. So your body and the sensations that you're feeling in your body are often a gateway into your deeper feelings. So once the feelings start to come up, then you want to express that. This is like sort of the beginning stages of opening up emotionally to a man. So Adrienne, any tips on how to express some of your feelings or respond to a man when he asks certain things in a way where you're like emotionally opening up a little more so you can connect with his heart?
Oh, I love that question. First of all, I just want to remind everybody that's watching, because we have a lot of people viewing right now. Please ask us a question. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We love that you're tuning in and listening to us, but ask us questions. We're here to answer stuff for you,
Yeah.
and we're here to talk about this intensive and show you how good we are at what we do. Yeah, but we also want you to, participate. So girls,
Yeah.
ask some questions.
We have a question that was sent in
Oh, we do?
before.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to be anonymous, go ahead and just message me your question. I won't use your name. We have one person that did that already. So I totally get not wanting your question to be out there for the world, the Facebook world to see. So yeah, feel free just to message me. I won't use your name. Someone's already done that. We're going to get to those at the end. So I'm totally excited to answer anything that is important to you.
Well, I see one here. It says, I got off the phone with a man that allowed me to express my thoughts, and it felt so nice to have that space to express. And he heard me, and he didn't compete, and I don't have to feel shame for, and then I can't see anymore.
I don't see that. Where do you see that?
But it sounds really positive. It's from Deb, and it sounds really, really positive. So, yay.
Wow.
Girl.
All this stuff was coming up and I didn't even see it. I am not the best with technology, as most people know. I see it. How do I?
But to answer your question about what, before you go to express that feeling, I always tell everybody, take a nice big deep breath.
Yeah.
Because we're always like, it's like we're in a deposition or we're used to our dads going, where were you or something like that. Yeah. And we're used to like responding immediately. So it's okay to go, well, and take a minute. And one of my favorite things is like, I need to kind of feel my way through. I need to feel it through a little bit if I don't know, or if I need to like buy myself a little time to figure out, and by figure out, I mean feel what it is that I'm having in my body. So take a nice deep breath and get clear. Ask yourself, am I doing this to try to get the guy to do something? Because that stuff is always going to be hovering around you. We are masters at figuring out ways it's amazing at how to get a man to do something for us or to respond in a certain way, or we test him. We say, well, if I say this, I'm going to see what he says. And you're playing a game with him, and the guy picks up on it immediately. And it turns him off. It turns him off.
I'm like cracking up over here because
yeah, are you? I see you.
Oh gosh, I was the queen of this. I can still get into this. I mean, especially us like smart women, Yes, men are masters at knowing when a woman is manipulating. Yes, absolutely, because
so true.
This vibe. So one quick tool I'd like to share. Oh, and I saw your comment, Adrian read the whole thing. There wasn't anything more there. That's what I was doing. I was looking over there for the comment. So we got it all. That's awesome. Keep the comments coming and questions. We love that. I can see them now. I figured out how to see them. So yeah, you're totally right. Men are experts at picking up in our vibe when we're trying to do something to affect him. And they might not be able to like put their finger on it, but they can tell we're doing something. They can tell we're doing something to get a response from him or get him to think about us in a certain way or just affect him somehow. So a great tool for that, and the key word here is agenda. Men feel very turned off when they sense that we have this agenda, which is so much of the time. We just do, you know, we can't help it a lot of times. So before you say or do anything with a man, ask yourself, what am I hoping will happen? That's a great, I would write that down. What am I hoping will happen? And if you can answer that, like, oh, well, I'm hoping he's going to do this, or I'm hoping he's going to see this side of things, that's a big clue that you have an agenda, and that is not the same as opening up emotionally to a man. So just wanted to share that quick tool. So best feeling when it's a dance, the conversation and energy flows. Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, I love, that's poetic.
Totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I wanted to add.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's not about cheating either. It's not about like, you know, I feel so irritated when you do this. That's not really I mean, I feel irritated is a feeling statement, but sometimes we kind of use it as a little hop over, a gateway to say something else, you know, and to be kind of like a little controlling. And you know, finding your feelings, that's not what it's about. So I've always noticed we have that first feeling that's a trigger, and it's usually a negative feeling. You know, it's usually like I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm irritated, or disappointed. And just telling a man you're disappointed in him is one of, in my opinion, one of the worst things you can say to him. But aside from, I feel hurt, you know, I feel disappointed, because you're, in a way, you're shaming him and you're punishing him for what's happened, or you're punishing him for how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't reached out and called you for 2 weeks. You guys are just dating, or he's figuring it out, or whatever's going on. He doesn't really owe you anything, but a woman can sometimes begin to punish the man because she's been angry for the past week waiting for him to call her. You know, and just know that your feelings aren't about taking your feelings out on him. They're about finding your feelings. You can say, you know, I was feeling a little lost when I didn't hear back for a couple days. I felt like things were going so good between us. It felt, you know, simpatico. We felt like we were on the same page. And yeah, I felt a little lost for a couple of days not hearing from you.
Yeah, that. Any word, like you said, where a man can do it to you, like a man can hurt you, a man can disappoint you, a man can disrespect you. So I would stay away from those words. That's why dating other men works well, keeps you busy. Yes. But a man can't lost you. So I like that. He can't sad you. So saying I feel sad or I feel angry, he can't angry you. But he can do those other things, because men really take everything as like a correction or a criticism. They're so sensitive. They take every single thing as like, oh, I did something wrong. I made her feel bad. And so they're much more sensitive than we think they are when it comes to that stuff. So
true.
So keep it to feelings that aren't also like a verb. Did I say that right? Like,
yeah. I mean, disappointed is like one of the worst things I think we can say to a man, because it makes him feel this big. He does not want to be around a woman that makes him feel this big.
Right.
You know, he'll go talk to his mother if he needs to have that sort of conversation. Please, everybody, ask us more questions. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about our intensive. And a couple of people, I see new people have just joined in. So we have a 3-day intensive. It's happening September 5th, 7th, and 9th. Tonight is the last night to sign up for the low intro price. It's over at everheartcoaching.com/unzipped. You have that on your profile, the web address, right?
Yes. So
okay.
You can just click on it should be in the title. And can I read the question that was sent in beforehand? If
Yeah.
if you want to remain anonymous, just message me. I have it open, which is pretty rare, so just message me. So I got this one beforehand. Let me just go ahead and read it. This one is awesome. I know everyone can relate to this. She says, should I wait to disclose very personal but relevant information, like a history of abuse, until a man has disclosed something equally heavy? When is the right time to share very personal things that will help them to better understand you? How do I know that a man will feel ready to hear the info and not feel overwhelmed by it? So how great was that question? And Christina, I saw a private message, but there was no content in it. So anyone sending me a message, I don't see any others. So if you've sent me one, I saw a couple pop up, but there was no content. Just send it again. Maybe my computer's being slow. I don't know. But if you sent me something, just send it again. And I'll just read them in no particular order. So yeah, I don't know why it's not coming up, but
is there a refresh? I have to do that with my phone or my tablet all the time.
I know a couple popped up. Anyone who sent me a question, resend it, and I'll refresh the page. Maybe that'll help. So what do you have to say about that question about when do you disclose something kind of heavy or something like that?
Okay, that's a really exceptional question because so often I hear reports back from women where they go on a date with a man and he tells them a very sad story. You know, second or third date, sometimes the first date, he tells them a very sad story. And so often it seems that we have become a society that we share our pain story with people. We share our pain with them. And really, I'm not saying you should sit on this forever, but I really encourage you to find all the beautiful, amazing, and wonderful things about your life that you can share with this man early on. And something like a history of abuse, it's going to find its way into the relationship. And it's not going to be forced, and it's not going to be anything that you have to break down in tears and confess to him. Because if a part of you feels ashamed of that and you're hiding it and you feel like you need to sit on it, that's part of why you probably feel like, I need to hurry up and tell him, because if I hurry up and tell this man this, I'm going to find out if he's going to reject me or not over it. You know, he can't handle a girl with a past like mine, you know, and I need to hurry up and get that out of the way. So this is where a lot of nasty voice comes into play, because nasty voice is usually associated to these past traumas. And that's my guess about, that's my sense about this. So I would focus on all the wonderful ways that you are expanding and making your life beautiful and wonderful, and share those with that man. Do not rush sharing something deep, not only deep, but it's a sad story. I'm always very skeptical of people who come up to me and share a sad story with me immediately, because I feel like they are wanting some sort of empathy from me early on, and I get a little off feeling. I get a little bit like, well, what do you want from me? Why are you sharing me this really sad story? I feel bad for you. You know, I feel helpless. So I think that sort of thing is just going to unfold naturally in the relationship.
I totally agree. You just like took the words right out of my mouth. And so to answer the part about how do I know that a man will feel ready to hear the info and not be overwhelmed? That's something where I really think your intuition will be your guide. Like, the great thing about this, when we talk about being vulnerable, and I got your question, by the way, people who have messaged me, so awesome. It's all good. We think like, we're going to be too vulnerable. We're opening ourselves to get hurt. But when you're actually in touch with your feelings, when you're leaning back in your feminine energy, the great thing is your intuition kicks in, and you can really feel like, is this a good time to respond? Or would this be a good time to talk about this? Or am I just doing something to try to create some connection, if that makes sense? So that's the nice thing about opening up and being vulnerable. As women, we have this amazing gift of intuition, and that's really when it kicks in. And then you can just stay open 100% of the time. You can always take a step back if it's too much, but you want to stay open. Otherwise, what we tend to do is we want to open ourselves up in front of some people, shut ourselves down in front of other people, and we're like, opening and closing, opening and closing. So what we would encourage you to do, we're going to be talking about this in our 3-day intensive next week, is to stay open 100% of the time. Then the intuition kicks in, and you can always take a step back, but you'll really feel like, oh, this is the right time to talk about this, versus, oh, I'm just trying to do something or get something from him. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And if there's a part of you that's like, a little bit ashamed that you're abused, there's a part of you that's like, I need to tell this man this. He needs to know this thing about me, or I was in a weird religion, or, there's a lot of things. I had recently a client met a man on a date, and it was his first night released from jail. But I'm sure he was ready to start dating, and I was like, wow, okay. But this happens. But he told her, he said, I have to tell you, I recently got released from prison, and this is my first date, and someone has to be his first date. And she told me, she said, I was like, thank you for being honest. So what is happening now with her? She's attracting these men that are being really honest right out of the gate, because she didn't reject that man, even though what he had to say wasn't, exactly what she's looking for. She accepted him. He came to her a certain way, and she accepted him with her heart unzipped, and had a wonderful evening with him.
That's an amazing story. I love that. Wow. Because so many of us would just be like, oh, okay, gotta go, right? But
yeah,
herself through that man on to the next better match for her by just kind of being open and trusting herself that if something didn't feel right, she could get out of there, right? So that
absolutely. It's so much easier to walk away. It's always easier to walk away. It's much easier to walk away, swipe, what is it, right? Is it right or left? I forget. But it's our art of war, it's much easier to destroy than it is to create.
Yeah.
And creating something takes a different part of you working and being open, and that's having your heart unzipped. That's what I want all of you to experience and feel, because that's, again, I talk about that extra added bonus. That's that extra added bonus that you get in this process. Your life gets changed in all areas.
Absolutely. It's just everyone that does this work has said that exact same thing. So, okay, here's another question. Oh, something's happening on my screen. Can you still hear me? Hopefully, yes. Okay, perfect. What if you were dating somebody and they went hot and cold, and then they told you they had feelings for their ex but kept reaching out to you? Would that be terms of end, or would you actually continue something like that with somebody? I basically tried to cut off all communication. He would still text me from time to time. I basically put an end to it, and he has not tried to reach out to me since then. I've not pursued reaching out to him either, which I don't think I should. Do you think it's just a dead end person? In my opinion, if someone still has feelings for their ex, yeah, that would be, he's of no use to you in terms of someone where you would be developing feelings for him. I would not ever want to encourage someone to develop feelings for someone who's just telling you right off the bat. He's telling you as clearly as he possibly can that right, Adrienne, or do you agree with me on that, or what would you have to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was going to just say, I had feelings for my ex, while I was doing everything for everyone. I just, I was having feelings for my ex at some really inappropriate times, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But I didn't tell that person.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them. And I think that's the difference here, is that this guy is going, oh, by the way, I'm still really hung up on my ex, but will you be my surrogate?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, he's a time waster.
Time waster.
Thank him for his honesty.
Yeah.
Thank him for his honesty, but he's a time waster.
Yeah, I would say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And, not everyone would be honest about that. And then I would get out of there. So you did great. You did great. Yeah. Do you think it's a dead end person? Yes, I do. Until he comes back towards you and says, I'm totally, in my opinion, a man just needs to be all about you. You have to be comfortable with that. Otherwise, you're sort of sending out this signal to the universe, like, I'm okay with being second best. I'm okay with being like the backup plan or the consolation prize. You don't want to put yourself in that position. Otherwise, you'll just keep attracting more and more of that. Adrienne, do you agree?
Oh, totally. And I love that little send off that you gave him, because when you make it positive for the man, and you're even though it's like not what you wanted to have happen, but you make it positive for the man, even if he shows up and he looks nothing like his profile picture and it's never going to go anywhere, make sure it has a really positive closure to it. Because again, you send that message to the universe. And this is one of the things I tell women, even when it comes to flirting with men in public. I'll go out and to run my errands like on a Saturday, and I'll be in dancer's pose. I'll have my heart unzipped. I'll have the vagina relaxed, wiggling my butt, everything relaxed. And the first guy that will flirt with me is like, not attractive, not anything like that. But I give him that positive reply, because he is a man sending me an arrow. He is a man that's giving me some attention. So I'll give him that positive reply, and his world will just light up. And I feel good. I feel really good. And then by the time I've made all my errands, from the car wash to the dry cleaners, and I'm finally at Whole Foods, the men I'm attracting have completely changed. And it's really like this great little, and I talk about moving up these tiers. And, when you're open and you're receiving and you're letting men send you arrows and you're receiving them, and you're being so kind with the send off, so kind and positive with it, you really do get more and better and better and better, and you keep going up.
It's so true. It's like upward spiral. Especially trigger something in you, you heal that, you're able to express that, you're able to stay open, you just go up this spiral. It's like the opposite of a downward spiral. It's really amazing, really amazing. Okay, I just got another question sent to me. I have listened to 6 of Rory's programs. My husband has Asperger's. He's responding to my new ways, but it's super slow progress. Any advice? Adrienne, anything that you have to say about that?
So my first husband had Asperger's.
Oh,
and very often I've said, if I knew then what I knew now, I would still be married. I would still be married to him, because we loved each other very, very much, but we could not work it out. So I don't know about you. I don't know your name. You're anonymous, but I would do things like, my husband would say, what would you like to drink with dinner? And I would say, I think I want a glass of water. And I'd sit down to dinner and I'd go, where's my drink? He said, well, you said you think you want a glass of water. You hadn't made up your mind yet, So I had to be so careful with language with him. And he didn't know how to give a hug. A hug was like a very difficult thing for him to give me. And if I knew, now, if I knew then what I know now, I could still be with him. I could figure my way around this. So what was her question? I'm so sorry.
She said, such a great question. I know that a lot of people can actually relate to this. I didn't even know that about your first husband. It's just amazing. So
yeah,
he's responding. She's got some of Rory Ray's programs. She's been doing. He's responding to her new way of being, but it's super slow progress. Any advice?
Well, yeah. So I'm not licensed in any way to talk about people with Asperger's or anything like that. And of course, there's so many different degrees of it. But your husband is probably very smart, very good at focusing in on one thing and being very exceptional at that. And he is totally picking up on what you're doing. He's noticing a shift in the stuff around the house and with you. And he's going to begin trusting you with this. And when he starts trusting you with it, that it's going to stick around and it's not going to change, and it might take a long while. But when you notice that positive change with him, when you notice him respond positively, I mean, even if it's a minutia of a positive response, I want you to praise him, you know, in a way that tells him how good it feels that he's getting this. Okay. So he knows what's up. He knows what you're doing probably, but he'll still like it. He will love you for it. And you can totally keep this marriage going. And it doesn't have to end. So reward him. Make sure you are rewarding him. If he hands you a napkin at dinner, let him know, I feel like a little princess. Thank you. If he opens a door for you, let him know how wonderful that is. Whenever my husband drives us anywhere, I thank him over and over for being such a wonderful driver. He does chores around the house. I let him know how wonderful it feels to just have, I can just depend on him. And that little thing I give him, I mean, it carries him through. It makes him feel like a man. It makes him feel wonderful. And that's what you want to get activated with your guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. If you haven't already, check out our 3-day intensive, because, oh my gosh, I don't know anyone better than Adrienne to help you with all your personal questions around this, because she's really been there herself. And I used to, you know, before I did this, I did behavioral therapy with people on the spectrum too. So I don't have as much personal experience being in a relationship with someone, but I definitely understand those dynamics, you know, maybe more than the average person. I did that for about 9 years before I became a relationship coach. So it's a really, you're not alone. Like, I have so many clients who kind of suspect that their partners might be somewhere on the spectrum. So pretty common thing these days, you know? But, yeah, but so I love what you said. Just, this could apply to anybody. How I said men were sensitive to criticism. They kind of take everything as a correction. They're also sensitive in a really good way to what Adrienne just said. When you give them that acknowledgement and appreciation, that's like the fuel that men run on, especially masculine energy men. So you want to make sure you're doing that too, as you're learning to open up emotionally and connect with his heart. Because what'll happen is when you open up to him, he's going to start opening up to you. It might not be immediate. It might not be on your timeline. You know, that's why it's important to not have an agenda and say, okay, I'm going to open up emotionally. And now, okay, now it's your turn. Go ahead and open up to me.
Yeah. What did he do?
Okay, all right, go ahead. Like, if you've ever tried that, you'll know that the more you try to like pull something out of a man, try and get him to open up, the more he's going to shut down, the more he's going to back away and just be like, ugh, like, get away from me. I've experienced that. So.
They will dig their heels in.
Yeah. So again, he will start to open up to you if he's the right man for you, and if he's really interested in a close, intimate, emotionally intimate relationship. If he's not, what would you want with that guy? Drop it, move on. He's of no use to you in terms of someone that you have feelings for, right? So you start to open up to him. He will hopefully in time feel comfortable opening up to you, and right? Yeah. That's how you create.
Yeah, I was gonna add, only you know how long that is.
Yeah.
Like, we can't tell you. Yeah. Only you know when. I've had enough. I have done this. I have tried. I am done. Only you know that answer.
Sometimes it happens quickly, though. It really does. Sometimes it could be immediate. It could be a day or two. But basically, what he needs to feel is a deep acceptance and a deep like trust from you. Like, a man needs to feel that he can safely open up to you, that it's safe to open up, and that he's going to be 100% accepted for who he is and what he's sharing with you. I've heard from a lot of men who say, like, I can't tell my partner anything because she's going to get mad. She's going to take it personally. And then it kind of devolves into this like superficial interaction where no one's opening up. It's not getting deep, right? Adrienne, have you found that too?
Yeah. And those are the clients that say to me, we were together 7 years and he just up and left.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if he feels like you're not going to be accepted by you when he opens up, he's not going to open up. So where does this acceptance start? Really, it all starts with you, like loving, accepting, embracing all of your feelings, trusting him with those feelings by opening up emotionally, like we talked about at the beginning of this session. So when he feels like basically a man needs to know that you accept you, that you accept all the parts of yourself before he'll ever believe that you're going to accept him. So you could tell a man all day long, like, oh, I accept you, I love you, you could tell me anything. But until he sees that you accept yourself and that you feel comfortable, you trust your feelings and you trust him with your feelings by opening up and expressing them to him, that's how he knows, oh, she doesn't judge herself, she doesn't beat herself up for her feelings. Now I know that it's safe to open up. I can share some of my deeper feelings with her. That's kind of the process.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Woo! I love it, Helena. Yeah, because like I remember in the beginning when I started doing this, and Helena was my coach, I would say, "Ooh, I'm gonna like say this and see what he does." And I was like, Helena, it's not working. And she was like, well, you're trying to get him to do something. And you're exactly right. So there's still a part of me that, you want to watch, you want to observe and see what they do. But just make sure, even if you're sending your guy a text message, make it authentic. Don't reach out and just say, hey, what's up? How's your day? Just checking in on you. There's enough fat at communication in the world. No need for more with someone that, you possibly want to spend the rest of your life with. Make that communication count. Open up your heart to him at every single opportunity. Talk about how the wind feels against your skin, the rain, the sun, how your latte tasted this morning. Find a way to share what is going on inside of your body with that man. That's how you get into his heart.
And again, keeping it all about yourself and your own experience. A lot of women think that this means like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about how I feel about him and the relationship and all this important stuff. And yeah, that's not where you start. Not at first. All that can come later, and we will teach you how to talk about the relationship, and we will teach you all of that. But when in the 3-day intensive, it starts next week. But for now, when you're like working to just beginning stages of opening up emotionally to a man, keep it all about yourself, because often a man can't handle that much energy and attention on him. It makes him super uncomfortable, especially when it comes to his emotions and his feelings. So you have to go first. We just do. We're women. We're deeper than them. We're more conscious. We have to open up first, right? Then
and like we talked about earlier, remember, this is about guys peeking in on the pajama party going on with the girls. They're trying to see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not you turning on them and going, so how was your day? Tell me about all your problems. That's not what they want. And if they do come in and they're talking about all their problems, just wow, ooh, that sounds terrible. Oh my goodness, yeah. And just hear them and be there, but don't really, add too much to it, because that's just not what you're there to do. You're not going to connect to his heart by being his therapist. You're not going to connect to his heart by being his mom or his best friend.
Yep, that's all.
That's all
feeling energy stuff. Trying to do active listening and work through his problems and be a counselor to him. Like, a man might like that, but it's not what causes him to feel attracted to you. In fact, it's just the opposite. That does not create a heart-to-heart connection. It's all the way to connect to a man's heart is always through your own heart first. That is the only way. So forget about trying to create something or do something to pull this out of him. It all starts with you connecting to yourself, expressing that. That's how you create that deep heart-to-heart connection. So, Adrienne, do you see any more questions that I did not get?
I don't, but everybody's been so super sweet. This has been so awesome.
Till the end too. I can't believe it. You guys are awesome. This is so fun. It's been like almost an hour. So I think we got through all the questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add or wrap up here, Adrienne?
Well, I mean, just that, we're taking a lot of complicated material and we're breaking it down into 3 days, into some of the most important things to get you from heartbroken to happily ever after. This is just another way to get this information in a new way that it's gonna start clicking. It took me 3 different coaches until I started to finally get it. And even then, you just need other resources sometimes. And that's what we're doing here, is we're just giving you another resource in a different way. I'm also bringing to you some tools that I've developed myself that I think are like fast tracks to getting results. I think they're fast tracks to getting results. They're fast tracks to understanding this. And somebody said earlier, they said, you ladies make it look so easy.
But it wasn't always easy for us. It wasn't always easy. It's a little more second nature now, and it will be that way for you once you really get this like into every cell of your body. But no, I'm not naturally this way. I'm naturally very like I don't know how to put it, sort of like driven to do things, and I can be very stuck in my masculine energy, and it's not a bad thing as long as I'm not turning it on to my man in my love life, right? So it's the masculine energy is good. You just don't want to be using it in ways that work against you.
That's right. And so we're going to teach you how to do that, teach you how to take what does work and start using it in your life immediately so you can start getting results now. So be ready for lots of information. We're going to have Q&A. We're going to have a live chat. This is all private. It is not on Facebook. I had a couple of emails today. People were like, well, is it going to be on Facebook? It is not on Facebook. It is in a private chat system that Helena and I both use. And you're going to get both of us for several hours, all 3 days. We're going to have Q&A. Plus, we have 12 bonus materials that are just amazing. Helena has an unreleased book that is going to be part of your package. And I have all these guides and PDFs. Rory has used some of these. They are some of her personal favorites. They are quick. You can keep them on your phone. Even before you go out on a date, you can kind of flip through them and get that reminder and get back into your energy so you can feel that soft and confident feeling of knowing everything you're speaking and saying to that man is connecting you to his heart. You're not being fake. You're not, coming up with some trumped up text that someone else has written for you, that are going to manipulate the man. This is authentically you connecting to his heart. Okay. And even if you really aren't into that guy, I want you to practice with the man that's in front of you, because the man that's in front of you has got such a powerful message for you when you open up to it.
Yeah.
And then you get closer to the next guy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Adrian, if you wouldn't mind, can you post the link to the information page in the comments?
Yes.
Right now? I can't access to.
Oh, Barbara just said, I wish I would have known this years ago. I'd still be married. Barbara, I don't know if you've seen the whole video, but go back. Yeah, a lot of us feel that way. If I would have known this a long time ago, I could have saved myself so much trouble and so much heartache and pain.
That's like the next thing I always hear from everyone. Like, I wish I'd known this 20 years ago. I wish I knew this 10 years ago. But you have to not. It's a pretty rare.
We're here now,
right? Well, it's a pretty rare woman that knows how to do this stuff. So that's why you just become a magnet to all these amazing men.
Well, I just have to say on that. Oh, you're so welcome. I have to say on that. Someone coaching session, she goes, do you have to be smart to know? Do you have to be really, really smart to know how to do this stuff? And I said, you know what? And all of my clients are incredibly brilliant, powerful, dynamite women. Every single one of them. If they're not college educated with a PhD, or they're an attorney, or they're something like that, they are incredibly, incredibly smart, self-made women, sometimes single parents who have worked 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. They have hustled. They have made it in a man's world. They're very much self-made. And that strength and that energy that has actually helped you survive sometimes is what ends up messing up your relationship with a man.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't about dumbing yourself down or hiding your talents or anything from a man, but it's just about one works in the world to get you where you need to be. The other works in another way. But some of my other clients, they've been very simple, kind of simple, not as complicated. And by simple, I don't mean dumb, but they have just been a little bit more traditional, and they get this really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They get it really quickly because they're not way up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can experience that.
Anybody can. Oh my gosh, I was the most agenda driven, stuck in my head type of person. I've found it's kind of like the smarter you are, it can be harder to, this is not like, doesn't come natural, but the tiniest shift in this direction towards your feminine energy, towards all of this stuff, will get you the hugest results if you're that type of like kind of type A successful, strong woman. Just the tiniest little shift in this direction, you'll start to see some dramatic results. So yeah, so I think we are ready to wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying all the way till the end. Oh my gosh, we'll post this soon on all of our different pages. And Adrienne, anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, but thank you, everybody. I hope to see you all there. We've made this super affordable. And if you're seeing this little evergreen content here, if you're seeing this after the event, you know, make sure you visit the website, everheartcoaching.com unzipped, or private message Helena or private message myself to find out how you can take advantage of this.
Yes.
We hope to see you there.
Yeah, one day left to get the early enrollment discount. So just jump on over. I think Adrienne posted the link. Do it by the end of the night. Hopefully you ladies were awesome. Oh, thank you so much. This was so much fun. We love doing these. This was so awesome. Thank you guys so much for showing up. And oh, you're welcome. You guys are so great. Have a great night. And we will hopefully talk to you soon and see you next week.
Bye.
So excited. Bye.
Thank you, Helena. Thank you, beautiful Helena.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.